Okay, so finally I can show you guys my setup and what I'm about to do. And I am not sponsored by any of these companies at all, just a heads up. I just chose these based on reviews and what I have used in the past. So I already pre-mixed my water with the salt and checked my salinity. I'm just gonna pour the water straight into the tank without any sand in it just yet, just because I'm trying to do less disturbance to the sand. So the next thing I am going to use is this Carib Sea live sand. Show you here. I used this in my last tank and it worked great, but this time I wanted to make sure I set up everything right away so the heat, the temperature, everything is correct, so that way it can work on live bacteria right away. I learned from a guy that did set up tanks. He said to just kind of put the bag of sand in the water like that way you have less mess in the tank. I know you still get sand flying all over, as you can tell, but it's not as bad by what I understand, so that's why I did it this way. I got 2 bags for it, 2 5-pound bags for the 10-gallon Waterbox. So the one thing is, with the sand, it does make a mess, obviously, with all the little flyaways. The one thing I do love about my cichlids, the gravel just settles down and you don't have to worry about anything. Do have some debris come up, but not as bad as this. This is like, once you just touch the sand bed, it flies up and you got a mess. But I guess there's a reason why they do this stuff, obviously, that way there's more bacteria in the water. And so the other reason why they use it, obviously, it replicates the ocean. Obviously the ocean has sand, so the bacteria lives in it. That's why they do it this way. But yes, the mess afterwards is a big headache. I do not like all this cloudiness in the tank, and you have to wait for the next day. So right after I get the sand in, I get the live rock and some new rock I want to try out. Fix up the sand bed. And then I also got a piece from my tank of live rock I'm going to set in there. I'm actually going to add some more pieces from my tank. Since I am downsizing, I still want the live bacteria that I have in my tank, because I know it's at least good and safe to put in there. I think this white rock, I'm still debating whether I'm going to keep it or not. But here's the live rock from my tank. You can see a lot of the growth on it. Looks nice and healthy. There's some aptasia on it, but I'll get rid of that soon. So after filling the tank completely full, I ended up with the Magnet Clarifier that I'm going to dump in there that came with the sandbags. It helps calm down the water, so it brings it crystal clear. I don't know why I have such a hard time with that word, but anyways, makes it nice and clear. So I dumped that in both bags, so it helps it clean it up and get it ready for the fish, at least for the next couple days. But I also am gonna add some Turbostart and some Ammonia just to help kick in the cycle a little faster. This is the Ammonia I used. It says 4 drops per gallon, so I used 40 drops in there just to get it kick-started until I get some fish in there to really have the ammonia in there. So right after I do the 40 drops, I will be adding the Turbostart. That stuff works amazing. I've done it in my last tank. I actually got 2 of those, I think, or 3 of those. Can't remember. I think I got the bigger bottle of it. But this one's designed for a 10-gallon. You dump the whole thing, you put it in your filter, your main part of your tank, your refugium. It helps kickstart the tank, gives you all the beneficial bacteria that you need for your tank. I think eventually I probably will add another one a little bit more down the road, just to kind of help more of the bacteria pick up for it. But this stuff really stinks. That's the point of it, because it is bacteria for a tank that is beneficial. I kind of scoop some water in there so I can get all of it out of there. It's well worth your money. It comes cooled or chilled, so I kind of left it in the fridge until I was ready to set up my tank. And then I also added some sponges and filters, little bio-rocks that I had in my own refugium. You can actually see some bugs moving in there, so they were living in there anyways. They were in my refugium, so that way I had the good beneficial bacteria right away. I wanted everything to be ready to go once everything gets cycled through. I did add the bio-rock right after that, and then I also ended up with some Chaeto algae I ended up putting on top of that, just so that way everything will be working correctly and cycling correctly. So I decided to go with an auto top-off system with this tank. This one's designed for a nano tank, Smart ATO. I looked online and Facebook, and I kind of just asked a bunch on Reef to Reef, a bunch of questions on which one's the best one to go with for a smaller tank, and they recommended this one. They said they've never had problems with it and it works great. I tested it out and it works awesome. Well worth the money. Can't wait, to actually have it up and running on my tank. But I did test it just to see if it works, and it works great. So 2 days later, I ended up bringing the Snowflake Clown and had it go into the water. That way he can get everything ready and cycled. I feel really bad he's by himself, but he's doing great. Anyway, I'll show you in the next video how happy he is. I ended up adding the other clownfish with him, so they can both be together. Please comment, like, and subscribe. This is Shack Tech. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.